a lot a lot of the humans that is living on this planet, including me, not all of them, because a lot of human beings that are in this avatar of a human body are not real. They were created. But some of the human beings that is living on this planet was fallen from grace. They was extracted from grace. That means that our powers was taken away from us. Everything that made us who we were is now being taken away and extracted. Now, when the Nephilims was on this planet in the beginning, they had all of their powers with them, right? And after the flood, all of their grace, their eternal life was extracted from them, right? So that means that if the Anunnakis is still on this planet right now, then that means that the Nephilims is still on this planet right now as we speak. It's just that their grace was extracted from them, meaning that these Nephilim beings are living on planet Earth right now like a regular human, just like us. Like we are supernatural, high frequency celestial beings. But if you look at how we are living as humans, we are living as slaves. We don't have immortal life because our grace was extracted. We was fallen from grace. So when you think of the Nephilims as fallen angels, you might as well consider some of the human beings as fallen angels too, because we were extracted from grace. So the Nephilims didn't fall from heaven to get here. The Nephilims were fallen from grace. They was extracted from their grace, just like a lot of us humans right now who has immortal life, that has a soul, that has a conscience, that has a spirit, and we have powers. Our powers, our immortal life, and everything about us was extracted from us. This is why we are deaf and we are dumb. This is why we are lost souls and we don't know who we are, where we came from, why we here. We don't know nothing because everything that made us who we are was extracted from us, including the Nephilims that is still walking on this earth. So you indeed could be a part of the Nephilims and don't even know it because you was fallen from grace. So technically, when the Nephilims was fallen from grace, when their grace was extracted, technically this realm that they are living in right now, that we are all living in, this is their hell. So when it means that the Nephilims had fallen, that it doesn't mean that they went to hell, because right now we are currently in hell. What it means was they was fallen from grace. They was extracted from grace, meaning they are put somewhere where they are no longer aware of who they are. And right now, we as certain humans are extracted from grace. We were fallen from grace because we don't know exactly who we are. So technically, a lot of humans down here are fallen angels. But what they do is they try to make us feel like that these fallen angels are evil. They are wicked. When we was extracted from what really made us who we are. Because if you look at life for what it is, life is a very evil place, right? And we are basically walking around people that is slave, that is in mind control, but it's a God that we must obey. But what if you came from a world where as though you don't have a God? You understand what I'm saying? You have all power. You can do whatever you want. But now if you were fallen and your grace was extracted, you are now living in a world with slaves where you have a God because you was fallen from grace. So just like you have the reptilians, you have the grays, you have all these type of different beings that is living on this planet, you also still have the original Nephilims that is still on this planet that are lost souls because they were fallen from grace. See, but falling from grace means that they were fallen, not because they were evil, because they had supernatural powers. And if you become awakened, you are going to notice that you indeed have supernatural powers. You might not have all of your powers, but you're going to realize that as you become more and more awakened, that you are going to have more power than the average beings. Your sensitivity is more intense. You can actually feel energies. You have clairvoyance. You have clear audience. You have certain powers that a lot of people don't have. And that's because some of it is still there, but you got to know what it is. So just like the Anunnakis are still here, the Nephilims are still here, right? But they have lied to us so greatly about the Nephilims. And I truly believe that when the story of Jesus Christ came, we really don't know exactly how Jesus Christ looked, because the Nephilims, they also look like human beings, but they was just tall giants with a human body, a human face. They look just like a human. It just said they were tall giants, but they wasn't like the other humans. They were immortal. They had superpower. They were super celestial beings, but they was in a human body because the human man created them with the female angel. So they got the body of a man, but they got the celestial supernatural powers and being from the mother. So if you basically extract them from who they are, and you take away their grace, then they are going to be in the image of the Father, of the human, strictly. But even though they still have everything from the celestial supernatural mother, they don't know that because they were fallen from grace. Their grace was extracted. So even though the mother spirit and blood and energy still runs through them, if you are living in a world where it was extracted from you, it is still always there. You just don't know how to access to it. You don't even know that it's there because you was extracted from grace. So this is why they kept the Nephilim story so evil. Because if you feel like, or if they tell us that the Nephilims were complete evil beings, then you're not going to want to know about them. Because they got us thinking that we are part of the Anunnakis. You got many people down here is waiting for the Anunnakis. They waiting for the Anunnaki to come and return. They told us that you got good and bad Anunnaki. We know everything about the Anunnakis, but we hardly don't know anything about the Nephilims. And the reason why they had the Great Flood, the Great Flood, it was mainly because of the Nephilim beings and the angels and the humans that all of a sudden wanted to go the Nephilim's way. So you had a lot of rebellious humans now that was more in obedience, and they were more in grace. Now you got a lot of rebellious humans now because they are listening to the Nephilims, because the Nephilims all of a sudden had a great influence over everybody. But the way they tell us the Nephilims was evil, they were wicked. They start having sex with the angel. They were doing everything. Like, damn, it was that bad. But yet, they flooded all of them. And they only let Noah and his people leave because Noah and his people, they still had the Anunnaki's blood in them. They had really no powers, but they still were able to live a longer life. But they had no powers at all. They didn't really have a conscience. So if they can save a group of people that is still in the image of man and the Anunnakis, we'll get rid of everybody else, but keep them. So when they populate the earth, it will be more people in the image of them. But the thing about it is that a lot of the Nephilims, they lived through the flood. They made it through the flood. And then some of the angels made it through the flood. Everybody did not die through this flood. This is why if you look at the world for what it is, you see all these petrified giants that is all over the world. Because technically, these petrified giants that we are looking at are the Nephilims. And they are not really dead. They are petrified. Some of these Nephilim beings are basically wind down to humans. You got a lot of human beings that is basically a Nephilim. It's just that they are now human beings now. But they still have this in them where so they feel like they're not aware or a part of this. So when I am so interested in the story now until it's not really, I'm afraid if I go and look at read the story of the book of Enoch, I believe that they're still not going to tell us the truth. Because I truly believe that if the Nephilims would have took over this planet, it would have been a world of free beings. It wouldn't have been a controlled slave earth like this. This is my own personal unpopular belief.